This is another one of these sad stories here that shows uh, this this COVID plague pandemic is not what some people, you see these anti-vaxxers and like up in Canada, I think it was like a whole set of like tractor trailers. They went to Ottawa, capital of Ottawa, the capital of Canada, Ottawa, protesting, that they need to have show this vaccination card because to enter the United States, if you haul in stuff like you're a trucker, and we have because of the what do you call it there, the NATO, they had the NATO, not NATO, because the treaty between the United States, Mexico, and Canada, yeah, and you have like certain things of free trade, and I worked up there years ago, and you have like a lot of trucks coming in, and they bring in a lot of stuff from Canada, even like auto parts too. And what it is that they have to show like they've been vaccinated, and they against this. Some of the truckers just said no. They don't want to be showing a vaccination card to enter the United States. but that's the policy. And I believe Canada has a similar policy too. That if you go up there, that you need to show that you're vaccinated, and I think you need to do either like a rapid test or a PCR test before you enter Canada. So it works both ways. So here's a story here about the boy who survived 73 days of pure COVID hell. And you see him there, and there are lots of people, I guess, maybe family and so forth around him. The x-rays show that COVID-19 had trashed Trevor Hensleys' lungs, and the 7th grader was still struggling to breathe after 9 days on maximum oxygen in a Missouri pediatric intensive care unit in early November. That's not that long ago. Something you never want to hear your child say is, "I feel like I'm gonna die," his mother, Deb Hensley, later told the Daily Beast. Over the next 3 months, her sweet-natured son will wage a ferocious fight for his life. Even with the efforts of a remarkable medical team, his battle would at moments seem about to end as grimly as thousands of other COVID cases in ICUs. There were times of despair, Deb recalled, but Trevor never lost hope. Just when we thought we were down and out, he'll do something and prove us wrong, and get stronger and keep us going, Deb said. See, Trevor's family is pro-vaccine, and his mother and father had gotten the jab, as did his older sister Autumn. They had decided to hold off for a few months with Trevor because at 12 he was the minimum approved age and has a pre-existing condition called phenylketonuria that makes it difficult to metabolize proteins. In October, Deb caught COVID. The rest of the family also fell ill, but everyone recovered except for Trevor. See? His parents took him to Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City when a fingertip oximeter, which is a pulse oximeter, level dropped to a perilous 85. It should be a normal reading should be beyond 95 and up. 95 and up. 85 definitely danger area. Not enough oxygen in the blood. At 9 a.m. on November 9th, Trevor was sedated and intubated. The doctors warned the Hensleys that if Trevor did not quickly improve, they would have to attempt an even more invasive procedure. They said, we'll give him 2 hours if he responds. That recall. The ventilator might as well have been trying to pump air into concrete. Trevor's blood oxygen level remained perilously low after the allocated time, and he was wheeled into an operating room. The surgeon inserted a large tube, or cannula, through Trevor's neck, into his jugular vein and down to his heart. His blood began running through an artificial lung that removed carbon dioxide and infused it with oxygen in a process called extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, or ECMO. In a room at the pediatric intensive care unit, Trevor was a small figure surrounded by a mass of tubes and machinery. A team headed by Dr. Jenna Miller began what they call an ECMO run, with the hope of giving Trevor's lungs time to heal. Physicians and nurses and respiratory therapists mounted an around-the-clock effort, constantly adjusting the equipment and examining x-rays and sonograms. It was hard at the beginning to get him on just the right settings and just the right position with that big cannula, and find just the right amount of sedation, and he was so sick, Miller later told the Daily Beast. After several days, the team reduced the sedation, and Trevor regained consciousness for the first time since being intubated. The doctors explained that children often become agitated when they first awake and are placed in restraints so that they do not dislodge the cannula. But Trevor remained almost serene, even though he now found himself with his blood running in and out of a big tube protruding from his neck. He woke up and was so calm, that recall. He never pulled at anything. He was just like, all right, we've got this. All right, so this article goes on for a while, but this is serious stuff. They actually hooked him up to a machine where the machine was acting like his heart, an external heart, and pumping the blood infused with oxygen, because his heart wasn't even doing the job as it should. You see? So eventually he survived. Yeah. They say after 6 weeks, Trevor was still not improving. That's a long time. So Miller decided to try something that had helped adults with COVID, but had not been attempted with a pediatric ECMO. Miller met with her team to figure out how they could begin proning Trevor without dislodging the cannula. We said, what do we have to lose? Yeah. At that stage, after 6 weeks, what do you have to lose? It took 7 to 8 people to do that every single time. The blankets were piled on Trevor's chest as a cushion when at least 17 members slowly rolled him over. This is really a sad story. A 12-year-old kid who ends up, and the only reason he ended up there is because he wasn't at the age eligible for the COVID vaccine, and everybody else in his family was vaccinated, by him, and they got COVID. They got COVID. They got over, but he didn't. That's the sad part of the story. Yeah. Let's go down to what the end here. So the doctors have told the parents to expect Trevor to be in the ICU for another 2 months. Wow. He's working currently and sitting up unassisted in bed and starting to stand up on his own. They said during his time in the hospital, Trevor has dreamed of his horse, a brown and white paint named Jesse. He loves his horse. Then it said, if there was a way I could get that horse to the hospital for him, I would do it. His medical team is also rooting for him to be reunited with Jesse outside the hospital. I think it's the one thing they can't wait to see him do, his father said. They want to see him back on that horse. Very interesting story, but shows that the reality of what's going on there, you know. And this is a 12-year-old kid. And this hit him real hard, this COVID. This is really something, isn't it?